Roll call?
Commissioner Jackson. Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Woolis.
Here.
Commissioner Hutchison.
Here.
Commissioner Capizzi.
Here. All right, any agency board commissioners' reports or announcements? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Okay, this is the consent agenda. Item 1, approve February 15, 2024 CRA meeting minutes. Staff representative, city clerk's office, staff recommendation approved. Item 2, approve the addendum to agreement between CRA and Gregory DiPolito and Penelope DiPolito, staff representative. Devin Talley, CRA administrator, staff recommendation approved.
Move to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0. All right. Old business, no, new business.
Okay, this is new business. Item 1, CRA Annual Report 2023. Staff representative, Devin Talley, CRA administrator. Staff recommendation discuss and approve for final report.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. So tonight we have for you is the 23 annual report for the Downtown Cocoa Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. For some of the commissioners, they've seen this report before. For some of them, it's new. But we are required to do this by Florida statute each year. And then so just to start it off first, we have our board members and our city manager. And then down below, we'll have our development services director, Randy Stevenson, finance director, Patricia Draycott, and then of course, our registered agent and city clerk, Karen Grooms. So we're getting into the redevelopment plan purpose. So back in 2012, the Cocoa Beach created the Downtown Community Plan. And with that plan, you'll see the established goals and missions that we set to achieve, and they're all here for the plan's purpose. So we have all the way from serve to eliminate and reduce blight, all the way down to any additional programs and projects and activities that help us promote this plan, implement this plan, and put anything else in place to make the plan improved over time. So when we talk about what is a CRA, so it is a special district agency that was created with the Act from 1969, and then what we have here too as well is the CRA was established with the tax incremental financing. And then we also have, as you go down the list, the act that governs the body of the jurisdiction in which the area is located. So in our zoning map, we have a CRA town district that's labeled and identified on our City of Cocoa Beach website. And then with that comes other requirements from our board members to approve and, recommendation for different projects. And then we have our annual budgets and financial reportings that were also required by Florida statute to do. And so just for a little history, when the city's comprehensive plan was established in 2005, they worked in the downtown community plan as well. And then as stated before, back in 2012, they went ahead and hired Zikovich Architects and Miller Lake and Associates to develop the downtown plan, which we still have in effect this day. And so over here, you're just going to see an agency overview that stipulates all of the resolutions from 2008 once the City of Cocoa Beach entered into the agreement with the county and established the CRA. And then all the way down into the bottom, you'll see that the CRA will sunset on December 31st, 2033. There is a stipulation in the interlocal agreement that when that time comes, if the county and commission decide they want to keep that moving forward, they can extend it for a period of time as well. And then as you keep going down, you'll see that, it consists of 234 acres located in downtown Cocoa Beach. And then as stated before, the geographical map is on our City of Cocoa Beach website, as well as page 9 of this document. And so this information comes from Brevard County Property Appraisers. They send us a report each year for the different assessed values over the last 10 years. And as you can see, from 2008 base year all the way to 2023, it has grown. And then here's the map that's on our City of Cocoa Beach website, and this is just to identify the downtown district for the CRA boundary lines. So now we're going to get into the 2023 budget. So obviously, as we're in fiscal year 24 now, this is the past budget from prior. So as we go through here, you'll see that the funds are from October of 22 through September of 2023. And so right here, we have the CRA, so it's the 125-9310 and the 125-9320. So for some that don't know, the 9310 is for the CRA downtown area, and 9320 represents the CRA downtown parking garage area. So you have it all the way down from your personnel all the way to your operating, and then for the garage, the same thing. You'll have your personnel operating, any capital expenditures, any grants, and under transfers is any kind of, internal service funds, anything like that. And then you have your debt, which are principal and interest and any other interfund loans that we have throughout the city. And then just for the record as well, because we are in fiscal year 24, in our budget, the total CRA amount paid for fiscal year 24 is $320,000. So that's what we paid for this year. Yes.
So on the bottom line of that, where it says debt service reserve, at the end of 2023, it said that was supposed to be 402,910. What was the actual?
For the actual amount, I'm not sure. I'll have to get with finance to see. This is just the budget document of what they proposed it would be.
But now that 2023 is officially closed, I think we would have that number.
Yes, we should have it. I just don't have it with me at this time, but yes.
There should be some surplus funds for going forward with maintenance and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
The 1.6 that's under furniture and equipment, about 2/3 of the way down, what is that?
Yes, so originally that was budgeted there for the cultural green space type activity. That is since not there any longer for this year, and no funds were expensed out of that account towards it. So that's just what they estimated at that time.
It was the furniture that threw me off. We're buying expensive
So
furniture.
that should roll over into the
Forward.
money that we have for this year.
Yes. Okay. So for the sources of funds, it's not showing up on here, but let me see. So for the sources of funds, for the document that's in front of you, this is for our revenue. So we have the intergovernmental, and then we have our charges for services. So the electric charging stations in the garage, the meter fees, the parking citations we charge, and then miscellaneous revenues for the interest on our investments. And then same thing at the bottom, so the funds forward. So this is the revenue documentation to show what they estimated for the 2023 budget. And so on this page is the expense report for fiscal year 23. So these are unaudited numbers as of 2/21/24, and they're subject to change per the audit report once that's completed. But so what you'll have here is you have all the way from your professional services for 31-00 all the way down to your debt, once again. And then here is the personnel charges as well. And then as you keep going, we get into our personnel and support services. So, water, sewer, electric, insurance, property. And then we go all the way down to our operating supplies, which is just day-to-day supplies that we may need to help maintain the garage or the CRA in general. And then we have the personnel schedule. So this has changed since then. So right now we have it to where there was a part-time worker in the garage that's now gone to full-time. So that's the change that's reflected in fiscal year 24 that wasn't done in 2023. And that is for maintaining the garage projects, the improvements. I'm sure you've seen some of the ones that are being done in the garage. Sections were closed off in our CB&N posts. And we'll get to show you those pictures later on in the presentation. Okay, so this is just upcoming things that we have for the CRA in a sense of the goals that we want to achieve. And so at the top, you'll see that, of course, the number one priority is to continue paying down on our debt. And then it goes all the way down into the repairs for the parking garage, which is another priority we have. And then the number 5, you'll see that we're obviously developing the cultural green space, but new 2024 change named to Cocoa Beach Centennial Square. So for this space, we'll allow residents and visitors to enjoy our greenery space in the downtown location for when that's up and built.
Number 4, can you kind of explain why we can't pay down our debt early? It says the bond documents do not allow for early repayment. That's just the terms of the bond that we got.
Yeah, so from talking to our CFO, so each bond or debt, they go through a series of terms that state whether or not you can pay it early or if you have to follow a set schedule. So for the CRA, we pay it twice a year. So it's one payment in October at the start of the fiscal year, and then again in January. So that's just the terms for it. I don't know much more than that as to why we couldn't pay it off earlier.
Okay.
And that's it. Any other questions on the document before our presentation?
Just, when's your deadline to turn this into the, when are you due to turn this into the state?
So we have to send them to the Brevard County Commissioners about 10 days after it's adopted, and then we have to post it to the website by March 31st. So this Florida statute requirement is that we have to post it on the website by March 31st.
Okay, so are you going to have the actual numbers for 2023 included in this when you turn it in?
It won't be included. What will happen is once finance finishes the CRA portion of the audit, that will get sent separately as a follow-up before March 31st, because we're on track for that right now.
So by March 31st, we'll have the actual numbers for 2023?
We hope so for the ACFR. There are 2 different sets of rules for it. So one of them is the annual report. Even unaudited numbers has to be posted by the website by March 31st. If March 31st passes and the audit's not complete, we have 45 days from that point to then turn it into the county commissioners and post it on the website as well. But usually we make it by March 31st for the audit.
Okay, so I'm just like, turning in a report for 2023, I would think it would be actuals and not, what we thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. That would be correct. That would be the intent, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this is what we have upcoming for 2024, what we're currently working on for the CRA. So Cocoa Beach Centennial Square and the new City Hall. So the CRA will be contributing around $3.3 million towards the City Hall wash-through and Cocoa Beach Centennial Square. As you can see from passing, they're currently in the construction phase of the project. And one of the important factors about this project, and I'm not sure if many people realize based on our 2012 plan, the project does meet all the vision, missions, and goals of that downtown community plan. It checks all the boxes for us. So we have our facade grants going on currently. Right now we have $150,000 left available. We are getting a few commercial businesses in the town center submitting some applications. So when those come forward, we'll be bringing them to you soon. We're going to be doing some more advertising for this year, and if we budget for future years for it, CBN posts, Facebook. And then the other thing about the facade grants is that it also puts in the standards of our 2012 community plan. So this shows that the city is achieving its goal of wanting to help the downtown community improve. It also falls in line with our comprehensive plan as well. One grant program we currently have going on right now is Surfside Playhouse. So this building is over 60 years old, and for that grant program, it is considered for electrical upgrades, plumbing upgrades, cosmetic upgrades. And the funding amount we have for this right now is $50,000. So we are processing our first reimbursement for Surfside Playhouse currently. Yes.
Is that a match or is that just a grant outright?
No, that's a match.
Yeah, it's a match. So if he decides to pay, $4,000, we will do the two, so it's half. And then you can just see from the pictures, there's a lot of wear and tear on the building, and we took a tour out there, and he showed us exactly where some improvements needed to be made. So we'll be documenting this every step of the way. Parking garage improvements. So right now we have them budgeted in our capital improvements fund. And it's around $575,000. So far, we spent a little over $131,000. And so the parking garage was opened in 2019, but it hasn't had a lot of improvements since then. So one of the things we're focusing on first is public safety. So lighting, when it's dark and, we have residents and tourists walking around, you can't really see. It's a little scary. So we have Core Electric completing an entire lighting upgrade for that building. For the bathrooms, we have the replacement and repainting of the doors, the different wash-through areas in the bathrooms as well for both the men and women's restroom. For the elevator, that is ongoing currently. We've had some problems with the manufacturer in ordering parts for that elevator, so we are currently working on finding a way to work around that. Another thing for safety, just limiting hazards, so safety rails, exposed wiring, anything that can be a danger to the public while walking through. And then, of course, signage, so complete replacement and refurbish of plaques, signs, complete upgrade through the whole building.
Devin, I had a comment on the elevator. I don't know if this is a public works comment, it's just more of an observation. So there's like an atrium in front of that elevator that protects it, and probably Ian or Nicole blew that door open, and then it was just propped open. So then it was that way for about a year, and then Nicole came through and just filled the elevator with water. So I was thinking, now I've seen that handle's completely off, so I don't think they can even get in that atrium. Anyone who wants to use the elevator. It sounds like there's potential elevator issues, but anyways, to my point, I was thinking, is there a way that we can make, get rid of the door and just have like a partition wall that shields direct rain from coming in, but you can still get into that area to go use the elevator? I don't know. It seems like it's high up, it's getting blasted with salt there, so I imagine that's going to be continuous maintenance. Just trying to think outside the box to not have.
Yes, we can, Commissioner. In fact, what we're doing now is we're in the process of putting an RFQ, request for qualification, for elevator companies to come in and evaluate it.
Yeah.
Rather than the continuation of throwing good money at bad, we want to get fresh eyes on the whole elevator itself.
I'm assuming we need the elevator, like it's not ADA compliant just using the parking ramps. We need that elevator?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
We need the elevator.
Yeah, I figured we did. I just wanted to ask the question, but I can see that
The
being an
slopes on the
ongoing
ramps
issue.
are not ADA compliant, so.
Yeah.
You're right, that elevator has been an issue from the very beginning. There's also some major things in a parking garage that are traditionally overlooked, and that's the caulking on all the deck, the double Ts, it's referred to as. So we're addressing the caulking, and it has to be inspected. If you let it go too long, you have to take it all out, and it's a very expensive proposition. So we're going to be looking into that also.
I just see, we are fully aware of the salt, but with that elevator shaft and that atrium being on the third floor, it's just getting continuous salt there, and I can see.
Yeah,
it being
that's a very harsh
problematic.
environment
Yeah.
that it's in, and we're going to be going over something, the Career Source Brevard, they're going to be
I'll get you.
directed into there and do
Okay.
all kinds of stuff in there too. So Devin's got the whole project resurrected, and she's doing a great job.
Thank you, City Manager. Yes, we're definitely addressing the caulking, also repainting of the entire building as well, because that hasn't been done since 2019, but we are improving it. That is our number one priority, and that's it. Any questions?
Thank you.
We should have a motion, a second, in approval of the final report, the annual report.
Move to approve the annual report for 2023 CRA.
Yes, should.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor to approve the final report? Aye. All opposed?
I'd say aye, but it's not actually the final report. It's as of this time.
As of this time?
So I would like to revise motion
To include the 2023 final audit?
to approve what was presented. It's basically, it's not the final report, because you just said there's going to be a final on March 31st.
Okay, so you did a motion to approve what was presented, and you're amending it?
Well, it's too late now because you already voted. You got.
All right, well, what did you vote, yes or no?
I didn't get a chance to give my amendment.
So you vote
I
yes?
just think it's amiss to say we're approving the final report when we don't have the final report.
Okay, but how do you
But
vote
we'll
so you
have
can
to have
record it?
another meeting then, because under the Florida law, it has to be approved before we send it out.
But we can approve it as of this, the report as of this time, and not call it a final report.
Okay, you can approve,
What was
and
presented.
I think what the motion was to approve the CRA annual
Okay.
report.
We use the final.
Strike the word final from my vote, the report that was presented.
I'll support that.
All right, passes 4-0. Announcements? All right, any public comment?
Rick Anderson, 1800 Minuteman Causeway, and I think I may have brought this up last year or at one previous CRA meeting, as far as the facade grants. I'm just wondering what kind of plans or what is the threshold or for approval for these grants? It's my opinion that we have probably the most disjointed downtown that I've ever seen, and I'm wondering if there's any kind of standards or just what the approval is, or do we just allow a business to say, hey, I want to put a new front on my store, and we just approve the money? So I'd like to see the money tied to some sort of improvement and toward making the downtown, giving it a little better continuity.
Thank you. That's a good comment. City manager, do you know if there is any requirements in order to stick to a certain aesthetic?
So I believe the grants are submitted to the CRA, and then it's presented to the CRA board, which is the commission for approval.
Okay, so I mean, it has to be approved for some reason, but I don't know the actual requirements. But to your point, I do agree with you.
It's about 4 pages of application of before and afters, and it's not just, hey, here's an idea. I mean, there are a lot of requirements, but I think what Rick's going for is there an additional requirement for like cohesiveness? And I don't think that is. I think it's
No, there
just a
isn't.
legitimate upgrade to your particular business with no tie necessarily to anybody else. But there isn't, I don't want to speak out of turn, but there's about a 6-page application that has a lot of requirements on it.
Yes, the application is posted on our City of Cocoa Beach website, and there are a lot of requirements, like you have to be in the town center, you have to be a commercial business. Your design plan has to, meet land development code, building code for your structure. We have our development service team review any permits that you're going to do as well, but each idea or plan gets taken to the CRA board prior, just like the Gregory and Penelope DiPolito agreement as well. You review the plans, you review the idea, and then it's up to the CRA board whether or not to approve the grant funding.
Thank you.
And then, as far as the approval requirement, basically, we don't have any, super majority votes required for the CRA board. So a 3-2 vote would approve something that came before this board. So it wouldn't be that you'd have to have a unanimous consent for something to pass, if that was part of your question.
All right, any other public comment before we adjourn? We're adjourned.